Hello and welcome to another beautiful edition of Eye on Port, your authoritative current affairs television program that has been designed to bring Ghana's port and maritime industry closer to you and you closer to the port and maritime industry of Ghana. It is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, Goyle Company Limited, Serene Insurance and Ghana Link, and it is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Our media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Viewers, the Ports Management Association of West and Central Africa has embarked on an initiative for member ports to adopt environmentally best practices. This initiative is called the Sustainable Ports Partnership Initiative. The following report will give you insight and tell you all what this is about. Take a listen. Ports in the West and Central African sub-region have embarked on an initiative to uniformly adopt best environmental practices for a sustainable maritime industry. Named the Sustainable Ports Partnership Initiative, this cooperative arrangement will establish and operationalize innovative concrete projects to minimize the impact of port infrastructural development on coastal resources and communities, as well as ensure that port operations improve the environment. This program, launched April 2021, is under the purview of the Port Management Association of West and Central Africa, facilitated by the Port Environmental Network Africa and funded by the World Bank. In an interaction with the public on Eye on Port, the executive coordinator of the Port Environmental Network Africa, Dr. Harry Barnes Daban, chronicled the genesis of this initiative.
The World Bank in 2018 initiated the West Africa Coastal Areas program. That program aims to support the efforts of African countries or West African countries to improve the management of their shared coastal resources. And then also all the natural resources that they have, and manage the risks that affect these resources, and then in that way boost the transfer of knowledge and help them to really mitigate negative impacts on the coastal resources. And as part of that program, they then wanted to also then bring the ports to work together, because ports are sited in the coastal areas. And the development of their infrastructure is really affecting coastal erosion situation, for example. I mean, our region has huge hotspots on coastal erosion emanating from the construction of our ports, because it is done with pure engineering that didn't really consider nature. But you can't fight nature. It will come back. Sure. So then they sought to do this. And interestingly, this kind of decision that they had tied in with what ports and the Port Management Association of West and South Africa and PENAF were already doing. So then we had to build synergies. And so the World Bank said, okay, we want to do this. We can see it's there. And therefore, the Sustainable Ports Partnership Initiative came from the World Bank.
He said the program will adopt a pragmatic approach to inculcate environmental best practices in an African context. Dr. Barnes Daban revealed that 3 ports will be selected to pilot this program, and processes are advanced to arrive at a decision.
Because the truth is that 22 countries within a space of 1 year, I mean, it's not possible to do everything, to go to all of them, but it's also understood that it's not the end of the project. It's only the beginning. Just to have something that is very representative of the region, and then we're going to continue. So the same process that is adopted for the 3 now will be extended to others after they have been piloted with the program, the benchmarking program that we have developed. So each port will have their turn. We'll get there, but it can be done in piecemeal.
He explained that, to begin with, 4 priority areas of environmental management has been agreed by member ports, and they include air quality, waste management, coastal erosion, and energy efficiency.
And then after that, the next thing we did was to then set up working groups. So for each of these issues, we got a working group. So these working groups then will have to discuss. We only facilitated, but allowed them in their own way to own the process, because they understood that issues better than anybody else. They were involved on the ground. And so then they got that working group for each of these priority areas that had been done. And then together with these working groups, we got them then to develop a kind of a sustainability scenario regarding these 4 issues. The whole idea about the sustainability scenario was to give an overview of what the situation was like for these 4 issues in the different ports. Just to give a big picture and understanding of what it was like, what air pollution was like in the ports. Generally, not within detail, but to give a good description, what energy efficiency status was like, and then what coastal erosion status was like. For that coastal erosion, for all of the issues, it would be different for different ports, but just to get that general overview. And then from that one could get an understanding of that status, but then also how long-term improvements could be made in those areas.
The environmental expert also said arrangements have been made to assess the performance of all parties involved.
We could also get a kind of third-party verification system. So the ports could do their own kind of assessment, but then we also open it up to a third party, an auditor who can come and then using the benchmarks that we have, evaluate this, and then get into discussion. Say, yes, you say this, but this is what we see.
He explained that while the initiative is in its infant stages, it has been able to cause the creation of a port sustainable charter for the first time in Africa.
So it was developed by these key experts that I talk about, I mentioned, who formed the working groups. And then it was sent to their council meeting. The PIMOCA has a council that meets every year. So that's where all the top decisions are made, just like a board they have their own board, yes, but then their top is a council. So in November, they had the council meeting in Douala, Cameroon. They approved and adopted the charter. So for the first time, we have a port sustainability charter for West and Central Africa. But no other African region. The maritime region for Africa is divided into 3. We have the Northern Africa, we have the Eastern and Southern Africa, and then we have the Western and South and Central Africa. It's the first.
The executive director of PENAF revealed that this project will have a non-state-led governance mechanism.
Conventionally, all organizations of the state, and mostly, you get that decisions and policies, the politics and politics, it's always directed by the state. But we can see from this project that we're getting a non-state-led governance mechanism, not only at the national level or at the local level, but at the regional level. And that's a huge one. So that the port authorities are not waiting for the state to tell them what they should do. But then the interesting thing is there are some dynamics and nuances here, that the ports are not bypassing the state. So the states get involved in the decision making, they get involved in the discussions, the meetings, but only as an actor, as one actor, but not the dominant one. So the conventional state-led arrangements exist. The ports participate there, but on their own, simultaneously, are developing their own governance arrangement, which is non-state-led.
All right, now let's take a listen to a few related comments on the subject discussed. This one is from Mensa in Tema. He says, my family deals in spare parts and we import through the port of Tema. How does this sustainable port partnership initiative benefit me, an ordinary consumer? Thank you for your question, Mensa. Dr. Bans Daban said, as part of the Sustainable Ports Partnership Initiative, ports are being encouraged to institutionalize stakeholder participation where the concerns of importers in terms of environmental decisions would be considered. There, the pros and cons of some trading practices will be assessed. That way, spare parts dealers, for example, will be encouraged to bring in environmentally friendly parts. Hi, Kwame here. How does this initiative tie into the ongoing wave to cut down carbon emissions globally? Hi, Kwame. Dr. Bans Daban says, the issues identified to work on is not being addressed in isolation, but ties in with the Sustainable Development Goals as well as the carbon emissions targets at the global level. Kindly ask your guest if there are sanctions to ports who do not adhere to the partnership's initiative. The executive coordinator from the Ports Environmental Network Africa said, the Sustainable Ports Partnership Initiative will not begin from a sanctions perspective. else it would deter voluntary participation. Instead, the project will take up problems that come with implementation and help actors deal with those challenges. All right, so that is what we have today on the Sustainable Ports Partnership Initiative. Iron Ports returns after this break.
Every now and again, GOIL makes good things happen. This time, GOIL has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with GOIL Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. GOIL has that sorted. GOIL, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse. And my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance Motor Policy. Currently, my goods are on the IC, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
Thanks for staying. Now let us have a look at some events that transpired in the local port and maritime industry. The Ghana Shippers Authority, in collaboration with some of the key actors in Ghana's transit trade, has once again held a sensitization workshop for haulage truck drivers in Tema. Together with the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Customs Division of GRA, Ghana Police Service, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the National Road Safety Authority, the workshop was used to deliberate key issues that impact the conduct of the transit trade along Ghana's corridors. Some of the key issues include the carriage of dangerous and hazardous cargo, non-tariff trade barriers, and the road traffic regulations. The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Shippers Authority, Benonetta Bismarck, reviewed some discouraging setbacks that were identified during the fact-finding mission the authority embarked on prior to the sensitization workshop.
The latest fact-finding trip, undertaken only last week, from March 7 to 11, on the Tema-Paga corridor, revealed some rather disturbing results. There were altogether 80 checkpoints, made up of 56 police and MTTB stops, 10 customs checkpoints, 4 immigration checkpoints, 7 axle load stations, and 3 forestry barriers. What is even more disturbing are the demands for illicit payments with the associated delays by these uniformed personnel at the checkpoints.
She said logistics and transport service providers have become even more crucial with the current wave of intra-Africa trade. Chairperson of the workshop and General Manager in charge of Marketing and Corporate Affairs at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Esther J.B. Donko, said GPHA, along with its key stakeholders, will embark on continuous efforts to enhance the transit trade.
We have also worked very hard to improve our services at the exit points in Paga, to the extent that only 2 weeks ago, GPHA commissioned its Paga Transit Track Park as part of our trade facilitation efforts. Indeed, during the commissioning, the regional sector commander of GRA Customs Division espoused the newly built park is increasing revenue for governments. Aside increasing revenue, he also claimed that the working environment for the officers at the place during examination and the drivers has also improved.
An Assistant Commissioner of Customs in charge of transit, Peter Antobre Ofori, said the Customs Division has deployed effective methods to curtail cargo diversion, deviation, improper parking and overloading.
Yes, we have liaised with the Ghana Link, and they have distributed powerful tablets. And this is a sample of the tablets. So at the dedicated checkpoints, we ensure that we take pictures of the vehicle that has crossed or that have crossed those checkpoints. And then when the pictures are taken, it is automatically loaded onto our platform. And therefore, if anybody would want to do diversion, as you are saying, the pictures along the dedicated route will catch the person or will be an evidence that the vehicle did not reach the exit point.
A delegation from TRANSNET National Ports Authority in South Africa has visited the port of Tema to understand the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority's containerization strategy, as well as share theirs in efforts to strengthen existing systems and bolster the good cooperation between the two organizations. The group from TRANSNET also visited the port of Tema to draw lessons from the newly developed liquefied natural gas terminal in Tema. The delegation toured the port of Tema, including the MPS Terminal 3 and the new LNG terminal. At the meeting with senior management of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPH's team shared how it has been able to gain success in its hybrid system of port operations.
Terminal 1, 2 are multi-purpose, owned by the Port Authority. However, the operations in it are a combination of the private sector and us as well. The Terminal 3, you'll be going there, is a dedicated container terminal. It is one of the developments that has made our country one of the container hubs in the sub-region.
They were briefed on how GPHA is strategically positioning the port of Tema as the sub-regional container hub, while the port of Takoradi is being positioned as the oil and gas services hub for the West African sub-region.
It's always a pleasure for us to have sister ports visiting us, for us to learn from each other, at least to get to listen to each other and know what we are doing and see how we could improve on either side.
Portfolio Director in charge of mega projects at the Durban Logistics Hub, Dr. Bridget Gassa-Toboti, revealed that her outfit is preparing to build an LNG terminal in the port of Richards Bay in South Africa.
We spoke a lot around the commercial structuring of an investment of this type. We spoke a lot around the potential options for the technology, the infrastructure solution that one must consider. We spoke a lot about how do you firm up a relationship across all partners, both public and private sector partners, so that you effectively deliver on an investment of this size and of this strategy.
She praised the level of operational efficiency at the port of Tema and did not rule out the possibility of partnerships between her outfit and GPHA in future.
We've learned a lot around the operating systems that are much more efficient for the Port of Tema, which is something that we are also looking at doing across our entire airport system. We've also understood the focus that GPHA in particular is having around how its value proposition should look around like in the West region. So consider this port as a transshipment hub, but also do anything necessary to grow the volumes of import and export.
In a related development, the Tema Regional Police Command and the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority have reaffirmed their commitment to continue collaborations towards the protection and security of Ghana's port environment. These reaffirmations were made during the maiden visit of the new Regional Police Commander, DCOP Daniel Kwame Friye, to the Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. The Police Commander and the Director General acknowledged the significance of close collaboration to ensure that, together with other key security institutions, law and order continue to prevail in the port of Tema, a key asset to Ghana's economy.
So for now, we just came to thank you for what you've been doing for our previous administration, and also to assure you that we are also willing to work with you as you have been doing. We give you all the necessary support as within our capability, and ensure that there's improved security within the ports and Tema environs.
Your presence, reassures us that at least the port is safe at all times. We will call on you when you are there. You are already at least patrolling the entire area to ensure that port business is conducted in a very secure manner. So we see you as strategic partners and not just tenants. And at any given time, any opportunity we have to even strengthen the partnership more and ensure that you can do your work better than you are doing, we are always happy to support in that particular direction.
The Police Commander and the Director General acknowledged the significance of close collaboration to ensure that, together with other key security institutions, law and order continue to prevail in the port of Tema, a key asset to Ghana's economy. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority is committed to minimizing the risk of incidents and accidents in its operational environment. In line with this, the Port Authority continually makes efforts to enhance its alertness and response mechanisms to potential negative events in the port environment. As part of these efforts, the Marine section of GPHA, in collaboration with allied agencies such as the Ghana Navy and the Environmental Protection Agency, recently partook in an oil spill drill in the port of Tema. The team deployed several of its sophisticated equipment and trained personnel in this simulation exercise. The exercise, according to the Deputy Harbour Master in charge of logistics at the Port of Tema, Daniel Korte, forms part of the Ogbangami Express 2022, a multinational maritime exercise in Western Africa.
We were called in to attend to an oil spill at the anchorage. So that is what you saw us doing. We had to go in. We were 5 boats. Josephine Asante, Benowusu Mensah was the target vessel. We had Joseph Owusu, which was a work boat. We had the Osajifo, which was a security patrol boat, and we had the mooring launch, which was to help us to deploy the oil spill. The boom is 300 meters length, is the skirt type, and this vessel can scoop about 32 cubic meters of oil into the tanks, and we have another one, same 32 on deck, so total 64. It has also the capability to spray dispersant. That is what you saw us spraying from the yellow booms that we fixed here, and that on board is about 45 cubic meters of dispersant.
He said the Port Authority will continue to improve to ensure that the safety of the port environment is not compromised.
All right, let's take our lenses to the international scene and have a look at what is transpiring in the global maritime industry.
A year after a giant container ship got stuck in the Suez Canal for almost a week and disrupted global trade for months, another Evergreen Marine Corporation vessel has run aground, this time near the US capital. According to Bloomberg, the Hong Kong-flagged Ever Forward got stranded after departing the Port of Baltimore Seagate Terminal last Sunday night, according to mapping data compiled by Bloomberg. The 334-meter vessel was en route to Norfolk, Virginia, when it got stuck in the Chesapeake Bay. Evergreen said it has arranged for divers to inspect the vessel for any damage and is participating in coordinating efforts to refloat the ship as soon as possible. The company also said an investigation into the cause of the grounding is underway. The Maritime Gateway portal reports that Maersk vessels are still calling at Russian ports to deliver containers booked before the invasion of Ukraine and to pick up roughly 50,000 containers stranded in Russia. The online portal says, as a result of what the Kremlin refers to as a special military operation in Ukraine, the shipping line has temporarily blocked new container bookings to and from Russia. Russia reportedly accounted for around 2.5% of the company's total sales last year. Stockholm Environment Institute has developed a groundbreaking platform that delivers information on cargo transported by individual vessels, the companies that own the cargo, and the greenhouse gas emission associated with global maritime trade. Named Global Shipping Watch, the platform is set to bring a new level of analytical depth, accountability, and transparency to shipping and international supply chains. As disclosed, the platform introduces a pilot version covering large trading countries such as the US and Brazil. It combines a detailed description of cargo in individual ships, including ownership information, with data on ship movements and operations obtained from satellites and land stations.
It's time to look at the schedule of vessels that have berth in the port, those at anchorage and those expected in the coming weeks, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates, which you may need to know to clear your cargo with. This is where we end today's edition of Iron Port. We hope you've been educated. Remember, you can watch all Iron Port content on our YouTube channel, Iron Port. Thank you for watching.